mudzafunsidwa kuti mulowetse admissions number. Kuchoka apo mudzaona skulu yomwe mufuna kulipira komanso dzina la ophunzira. Onetsetsani kuti zonse ndi zolondola. Ndipo nthawi yomweyo mudzalandira SMS yotsimikiza kuti zatheka. Kulipira school fees kwaphweka tsopano. Ndi fees pa Airtel Money mutha kulipira school fees mosavuta kudzera pa foni yanu. Tsatirani ndondomeko zotsatirazi. Choyamba, imbani *211#. Pamene yomwe mutapatsidwe, sankhani 8 kuti mulipire fees. Pitirizani posankha 1 yomwe ndi fees. Kenako mudzafunsidwa kuti mulowetse admissions number. Kuchoka apo mudzaona skulu yomwe mufuna kulipira komanso dzina la ophunzira. Onetsetsani kuti zonse ndi zolondola. Pitirirani ndi kuyika ndalama zomwe mufuna kulipira. Lembani pin yanu ya Airtel Money kuti muvomereze kulipira. Ndipo nthawi yomweyo mudzalandira SMS yotsimikiza kuti zatheka. Kulipira school fees kwaphweka tsopano. Ndi fees pa Airtel Money mutha kulipira school fees mosavuta kudzera pa foni yanu. Tsatirani ndondomeko zotsatirazi. Choyamba, imbani *211#. Pamene yomwe mutapatsidwe, sankhani 8 kuti mulipire fees. Pitirizani posankha 1 yomwe ndi fees. Kenako mudzafunsidwa kuti mulowetse admissions number. Kuchoka apo mudzaona skulu yomwe mufuna kulipira komanso dzina la ophunzira. Onetsetsani kuti zonse ndi zolondola. Pitirirani ndi kuyika ndalama zomwe mufuna kulipira. Lembani pin yanu ya Airtel Money kuti muvomereze kulipira. Ndipo nthawi yomweyo mudzalandira SMS yotsimikiza kuti zatheka.
Welcome to Luntha TV News, live from the Bishop Navy Media Center here in Lilongwe. The people have spoken. As we inaugurate this new chapter, we are reminded that nation building is the process of harnessing our diverse views for the total well-being of all people. The task ahead is immense: to heal divisions, stabilize an economy in crisis, and address the poverty affecting so many of our brothers and sisters. Now the work begins to construct a cohesive national identity supported by the values of unity and service. I'm Kathy Matura giving you news at this hour. First, the headlines. Pope urges writers to see the world through Christ's eyes. Chisango Watch hails Make's presidential declaration as credible. Youth Forum to engage with President-elect on youth policies. And in news from the Great Lakes region, 11 new Ebola cases confirmed in DR Congo. And now the news in detail. start with news from the Holy See, where Pope Leo XIV invited members of the community of writers and collaborators of the Jesuit review La Vita Cattolica to embrace their mission of perceiving the gaze of Christ upon the world. The Holy Father made the appeal during a special audience at the Vatican marking the magazine's 175th anniversary. Vatican News report read by Fales Chizumbe.
In his address, Pope Leo XIV urged the editorial staff to remain faithful to this tradition, reminding them that reporting on current events, which often test human hope, must always carry the light of Christ. Quoting his predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI, from the 2007 Encyclical Spi Salvi, Pope Leo stressed the certainty that faith brings, even in moments of despair. He recalled the late Pontiff's words, "My life and the history of the world are not left to chance. Providence does not cease. Beyond all failures, I know that my life is held firm by the power of God's love." The Holy Father praised the journal's enduring service to the Church over its long history, thanking the Jesuit writers for their faithful and generous contribution. Pope Leo further described La Vita Cattolica as a window on the world, highlighting its unique ability to engage with contemporary realities without shying away from the contradictions and challenges. He encouraged the staff to continue fostering dialogue between faith and culture in a spirit of openness and courage. Looking ahead, the Pontiff proposed 3 priorities for reflection to educate readers toward intelligent and active participation in society, to give voice to those who are excluded or marginalized, and to remain heralds of hope. What you write, he concluded, can help your readers better understand the complex society in which we live, evaluating both its strengths and its weaknesses.
Chisango Watch, a reputable local election observer mission, has endorsed the presidential declaration by the Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) as credible and reflective of the electoral outcome. During a press briefing held in Lilongwe, Chairperson Guilford Matonga stated that the mission observed all the phases of the electoral process, including voter registration, candidate nominations, the campaign period and election day, and found the MEC's administration to be reliable throughout. And here is Jacqueline Saidi.
In a significant development, Chisango Watch has released its 2025 presidential results verification statement, confirming the credibility of the recent elections. Chisango Watch Board Chairperson Bishop Guilford Matonga says their PRVT results data based on observations from 784 polling stations indicates that the official results for the top 2 candidates, Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera and Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, fall within the estimated ranges. The Malawi Electoral Commission's results show Dr. Lazarus Chakwera receiving 33.0% and Professor Peter Mutharika receiving 56.8%, which align with Chisango Watch's estimates.
I believe that MEC has done a very tremendous job. The announcement was done very well. It prepared Malawians. The preparation was done through the periodic partial results that were there. So the announcement that was done with the background of what had already transpired. So we described it as a process well done, a process excellently articulated and presented.
NICE Trust Executive Director Gray Kalinde Cafe applauded the voter turnout, noting that this election had a comparable turnout to the second term, which was 76%, and the 80% turnout in 1994, while other elections had turnouts of 70% or below.
We are very excited that our civil delegation was successful because voters came out in huge numbers, and we are now at a very unprecedented figure of 76%.
The verification statement highlights the success of the electoral process, with Chisanko Watch commending the Malawi Electoral Commission stakeholders and Malawians for their role in ensuring a credible election. The organization's observation effort has contributed to enhancing transparency and accountability in the electoral process.
The Center for Multi-Party Democracy, CMD, has described the 2025 general elections as fair, peaceful and inclusive, praising the level of engagement between the Malawi Electoral Commission, MEC, and stakeholders throughout the process. CMD Executive Director Boniface Chibwana said political parties, traditional leaders and communities were kept involved from the start of the electoral calendar, covering activities such as constituents demarcation, voter registration, campaign management and polling. Cherit Chilanga reading a report filed by Judith Ogen.
Chibwana acknowledged some challenges, particularly the controversies surrounding the use of the national ID as the only requirement for voter registration. However, he explained that making the National Registration Bureau worked together to resolve most of the issues, allowing the process to proceed smoothly. He added that the campaign period was one of the most tolerant in recent years, with fewer incidents of violence and more respect among political parties. Chibwana praised the high presence of political party monitors and international observers, saying their involvement enhanced transparency and accountability. He stressed that the participation of multiple stakeholders ensured that the polls were credible and reflective of Malawians' democratic will.
It has been fairly good in the sense that the Electoral Management Board has been engaging electoral stakeholders, and for CMD, since we do work with political parties, I think we have been engaged considerably so. If you look at the electoral cycle and you try to take the activities within the electoral calendar, we have been involved and we have been engaged. I can start from the boundary delimitation, where the Electoral Commission was trying to have new constituencies or new wards. As political parties, we have been engaged to say there's this activity that is coming up, and I know that even traditional leaders within the communities, they have also been engaged. In each and every activity, it's good to work with electoral stakeholders so that they are not caught unawares.
Looking forward, Chibwana emphasized the need for electoral reforms to strengthen future elections. He pointed to the high number of narrow and void votes, low representation of women, accessibility challenges for people with disabilities, and the persistence of handouts during campaigns as issues requiring urgent attention before 2030. He added that Malawi must also debate electoral systems, suggesting that proportional representation could improve inclusivity and empower marginalized groups. The CMD Executive Director Chibwana stressed that reforms must focus on inclusivity, transparency and issue-based politics if Malawi is to consolidate democracy and build on the peaceful atmosphere of the 2025 elections.
Political analyst Chimwemwe Tsitsi has described Malawi's democracy as mature following the election of the country's 7th president, Professor Peter Mutharika, in the just-ended September 16, 2025 general elections. He said the smooth transition of power between outgoing President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera and President-elect Professor Mutharika reflects the country's respect for democratic values and the will of the people. Emmanuel Chiwocha reports.
In an interview with Luntha television, Tsitsi noted that since attaining independent in 1964, Malawi has continued to build on democratic principles, highlighting that a peaceful power of transfer is a sign of maturity. He further observed that Malawi's democracy is unique as it accommodates everyone and promotes respect for citizens' choice.
It means a lot. First of all, it means that Malawi's democracy is maturing by the day. When you the fact that it is a former president who has been elected to that office, so it is somebody who we can say Malawians rejected 5 years ago in the same process of election, who has been entrusted with this responsibility of leading Malawians. By the end of the day, it just signifies the value that our democracy places on the will of the people. And most importantly, we are also looking at the fact that it is a lesson to politicians that whenever you are in power, you should always remember the fact that the source of that power are the ordinary citizens of Malawi. And they give you that power on a trust, and that trust basically is guided by the fact that when you are in office, you are supposed to perform in line with their wishes, in line with their preferences, and that's what defines democracy.
Concurring with Tsitsi, Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace, CCJP National Coordinator, Luis Nsiadungu, said Malawians demonstrate light direction for democracy by electing leaders based on merits rather than cultural or religious affiliation. He said this reflects a positive step in strengthening Malawi's democracy journey.
In the first place, as CCJP, we called on Malawians. We issued a statement calling on all Malawians to choose a person based on the facts that have been said during the campaign period, looking at the manifestos that were presented. So if you look at the voting patterns, people are looking at issues, and the way Malawians have voted, in some parts of the country, you'd see that they have voted for a president of a different political party, but they have also voted for a member of parliament of a different political party. Whilst they have also, in the same constituency, voted a councillor of a different political party, meaning that people were looking at issues, not mere political party colors or propagandas. So I think this is the right direction that Malawians have taken.
Both Tsitsi and CCJP also commended Malawi Electoral Commission under the leadership of Justice Annabel Ntalimanja for conducting elections professionally in accordance with the country's law. They stressed that MEG's credibility has helped to maintain peace and trust among the electorate. MEG chairperson Justice Ntalimanja officially declared Professor Peter Mutharika of Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, the winner of the presidential election after securing 3,035,249 votes, representing 36.8% of the total valid votes. For Luntha News, this is Emmanuel Juocha.
You're watching news on Luntha TV. Here are the headlines once again.
Pope urges writers to see the world through Christ's eyes. Chisango Watch hails MEG's presidential declaration as credible. Youth Forum to engage with President-elect on youth policies. And in news from the Great Lakes region, 11 new Ebola cases confirmed in DR Congo.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Luntha TV News and I'm Kathy Matura. Youth Forum, under the banner Youth Decide campaign, plans to engage with the President-elect Peter Mutharika to discuss youth-focused policies. According to Commissioner Mwandida Teu, this year's elections accurately reflected the people's choices. More in our report filed by Gift Kalonga.
Speaking during a press briefing in Lilongwe, Commissioner Mwandida Tewu said the group expect Mutharika to demonstrate commitment implementing youth-centered policies. She emphasized the need for the new government to fulfill its campaign promises and urged the youth to actively hold leaders accountable. Tewu added that the Youth Decide campaign will continue working to ensure the government presses young people at center of national development initiatives across different sectors.
So we have already reached out to Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, because initially they were supposed to endorse the National Youth Manifesto even before the elections. So they already know that we are looking for this platform, and once they grant us that opportunity, we must be able to meet them. So I wouldn't depict the specific date, but as soon as they give us that platform, we'll be able to engage them. But again, I think the expectation from Youth Decide campaign, not just young people, but even the whole civil society organizations, is that this government should be open enough to engage, because in engagement, it is where we appreciate each other, the issues, and we find solution together, joint solutions that can be of value to this country. So we are expecting that this government will be open enough, accepting each and everyone, despite of the previous history that has been there, the experiences. But we believe that there should be openness between the citizens and the government. So
meanwhile, Commissioner Tewu has commended outgoing President Lazarus Chakwera for conceding defeat, describing his gesture as rare but important among Southern African leaders. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
Football Association of Malawi Farm President Fleetwood Haiya has extended his heartfelt congratulations to Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika on his election as the President of the Republic of Malawi. This moment marks a significant development in the nation's political landscape, potentially opening new avenues for collaboration aimed at enhancing football's growth and development in Malawi. Patrick Pupa has more details in this report.
Fleetwood Haiya expressed optimism about working closely with the President Mutharika, emphasizing that FARM's organization goals align with the President's vision for national development. He noted that both FARM's manifesto and the President's objectives prioritize the advancement of sports, particularly football, as means of fostering unity, promoting youth engagement, and stimulating economic growth through sports. Haiya highlighted that FARM's vision includes a robust framework for developing football infrastructure, increasing grassroots participation, and enhancing the quality of coaching and training programs across the country. This commitment of football development is aimed at cultivating local talent, improving the national team's performance, and enhancing Malawi's presence on the international football stage.
That is very true, as you are aware that most of our teams do not have maybe their own infrastructures when it comes to the stadiums. Now we rely on government infrastructure. Not only that, even our national team, we rely on government infrastructure. Thereby, we cannot do it alone. We rely on government. Even the national team itself is the responsibility of government. I can confirm that during the campaign, I took to myself through the executive that we visit the candidates so that we also sell our strategic plan to them, so that when they are campaigning or when they are having their manifesto, which sometimes becomes a blueprint of what they would do when they win, it's our strategic plan should be embedded in their strategy. And I can confirm that the DPP manifesto did also include our strategic plan in it. And I visited the president-elect, whereby we also discussed about the infrastructures, especially here in Luntha, whereby we're talking of having another international infrastructure where we can host national games.
As farms prepare to engage with the new administration, Haiya, the association readiness is to collaborate with the government on initiatives that support sports development. He is confident that together they can create impactful programs that benefit not only football but also the broader community. Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika is the 7th President of the Republic of Malawi, and his administration presents a pivotal opportunity for sports advancements in the country. For Luntha News, this is Patrick Pupa.
In latest news from the Great Lakes region, the Democratic Republic of Congo is grappling with a new outbreak of Ebola as health officials have confirmed 11 additional cases in the Bulape health zone of Kasai province. The outbreak remains concentrated in 6 health areas: Balambiale, Bulape Communautaire, Dikolo, Ingongo, and Mpianga. The outbreak has claimed 35 lives, including 25 confirmed and 10 probable cases, resulting in an overall case fatality ratio of 61.4%. Notably, 5 health workers are among the confirmed cases. Africa News report read by Fales Chizombe.
The affected individuals range from infants to those aged 65, with children in the 0 to 9 age group particularly hard hit, making up 23% of total cases. Females account for 61% of the cases, with a case fatality ratio of 56% among women compared to 73% among men. Key vulnerable groups identified include children, housekeepers, and farmers. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported last week that the outbreak has resulted in at least 16 deaths and 68 suspected cases since it was first announced earlier this month in Bulape. In response to the crisis, only 400 initial doses of the Ebola vaccine have been dispatched, with additional doses expected to arrive later. The World Health Organization stated that the vaccination efforts have faced challenges due to limited access and funding, although the International Coordinating Group on Vaccine Provision has approved an additional 45,000 vaccines. An initial stockpile of 2,000 doses is already in the country. This outbreak marks the 16th instance of Ebola in the country since the disease was first identified in 1976, and it is attributed to the Zaire species of the virus. The situation poses further complications for a nation already struggling with ongoing conflicts involving rebel groups, particularly in the eastern regions, which have significantly impacted the health care system.
That African News report by Fales Chizombe on the new Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo brings us to the end of this bulletin. But before I sign out, here is a recap of the news making the headlines.
Pope urges writers to see the world through Christ's eyes. Chisango Watch hails Make's presidential declaration as credible. Youth Forum to engage with President-elect on youth policies. And in news from the Great Lakes region, 11 new Ebola cases confirmed in DR Congo.
The new administration inherits a nation longing for stability and progress. Success will be judged on its ability to tackle inflation, create opportunities, and unify the country. Guided by the church's teachings, all of us here at Luntha TV pray for our leaders' wisdom and courage. We also call on all Malawians from every tribe and party to engage constructively. Let us move forward together, not as victors and losers, but as one nation under God, committed to the common good. Thank you for watching Luntha TV. I'm Kathy Matura. May God bless the warm heart of Africa. Goodbye for now.